There we go. Hey, y'all. Hey, it's Tracy time. Time for another moment with me, Tracy T. Live at lunch. It's our Monday edition. How the heckle, Jekyll, and Hyde are y'all doing today? Let me tell you something. Woo! The weekend was action-packed for me. I hope you're having a great day. It's my first time in the new platform. So let me do this because I know so many people are probably looking at my profile picture looking for live at lunch on my profile page and not my business page. But this is officially it. I have shifted over as of today to make sure, oh, you see this light ring. And I got a new light ring. My friends Angie and Adrian, especially Adrian Hughes. Thank you, Adrian. Love you, bless you. Was like, Tracy, you need to get like the big one so that you don't see it in your glasses and the lights around you and you're like of the light and not looking at the light. You were right. I did it. I got one. Did I put it together yet? Not yet. But Wednesday, live at lunch, I'll be ready. I just wasn't cooking with Crisco this morning. We had other missions to complete. However, today we have a fantastic mission to complete, which is to have two guests, not one, but two guests on. One of them is already ready to be added, and I'm so excited. Richardson-Ezell and I go way back. And she is a wonderful human being, first of all. She's super uber talented, and I'll let her tell you how long she's been doing nails, but she is a director at a local nail salon, and she owns her own business, Tera Richardson Designs. So I'm excited about her joining me today for live at lunch as part of my series this month. There she is. Hey, Tera.
Hey,
How are you doing?
I'm doing.
So full disclosure, I want y'all to know that Tera is 100% an introvert. She and I are yin and yang, polar opposites when it comes to this kind of stuff. So
I'm good.
I assured her that it would just be the two of us talking, like it's just us. And you guys get a chance to see us when we're talking. Yep, you were right the first time. That's it. You're right.
Okay, so I'm getting feedback. Hold on. I'm trying to figure out how to not get this feedback
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
because I can hear you.
Well, you sound crystal clear on my end. You have a delay too?
Yeah, I got a delay.
If you take one of your earbuds out, does that help?
I'm trying to see now. Hold on. Okay, let's
You testing? Can you hear me? Loud
see.
and clear me?
I can hear you and I can hear me talk back. So it's kind of weird.
Oh, I bet that is weird. But
Yes.
it doesn't sound like it's an echo though, does it? It's just a delay.
Yeah. And I have to decipher between the two. So can we disconnect and then connect back?
You can just go ahead and disconnect. Yeah. You
Okay.
can hang up and call me back. So we are going to have the phenomenal opportunity to connect with Tera. Tera, like I said, if you were listening to me, hey y'all, first of all, happy Monday. Let's make our mark Monday. It's a magnificent Monday. It's a beautiful day, and I want y'all to know that beauty has not a single solitary thing to do with the weather. Beauty is what's inside here and what you want your day to be. So you can make your day beautiful just by simply speaking it, confessing it, and then making it be beautiful. So make your mark this Monday. And then this is actually the second day of the week, right? So we know that you're already on your way. You're having a marvelous Monday. What are y'all doing for lunch today? I gotta know. You know, I always want to know what you're eating for lunch because you better have yourself fortified and be ready because we're having two dynamic women that own businesses here in the city of Memphis. I am thrilled about that. Are y'all excited about that? Let me see some comments. Give me something. Tell me something. Let me know something. Do what Shaka Khan say. Tell me something good. Tell me, tell me, tell me. And listen, I am also wearing what you can't really see it. Let me pull it over my. Y'all can see it now, I bet. This is a shirt also from a local black owned business Gone t-shirts. GONE is an acronym, which means greatness over negative energy. I love it. I love this t-shirt. It's great. So I will tag. I think I can do that. I'm getting used to my business page. So y'all, if y'all got tips and tricks, what I want to do is let my business page serve as the platform for this and the other things that I'm doing with Tracy T. and Co. So thank you for being on here, the two of you. Y'all say something to me so I know who it is, because I can't see who it is that's on there with me now. But there are two of you. While we wait on Tara to come back, I'm going to add her again and let's see. But I'm excited to talk to Tara. And then after we finish with Tara, Carolyn Michael Banks, who is the owner of A Tour of Possibilities, will be on today. So I'm super excited to talk to her. Both of women have been in business for years. All right, Tara, you're back. Welcome back.
I'm back. Thank you.
Better?
Better, I think.
Okay. Well, let me tell you this. If you can tolerate having that little bit of repeat, you sound crystal clear and you look super duper.
Okay. I'm good. I don't hear any background now, so we're good.
Okay, very good. So I just want y'all, hey, Cammy's on. So I was telling you guys before Tara left and came back, that Tara and I are like yin and yang. As much as I'm like, Tara's like, yep, that's good. It's chill. Sure. Okay. So I love being on here, but Tara's like, I really don't want to go live and have anything to say about anything, but she's got something good that she's doing. So, I'm all about it. And I told y'all, if you looked at my original list, that Tara was one of the people who did not have a choice, that she was going to be on Live and Lunch with me to celebrate Black Business Month for the month of August. So Tara, thank you for answering the call and overcoming and stretching yourself out a little bit.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing very well.
So I told people, I think you were already joining, or you may have already heard me say this, that I have known you for years and you have been my nail technician forever and a day.
Yes.
And I said that I was going to leave it up to you to tell how long you've been doing nails and what motivated you to get involved. So let me know, how long have you been doing nails?
I have been doing nails for 23 years.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Yes. Yes, it's weird because I've been doing nails since I was 18. It was the first job that I had after
your
high
whole
school.
Adult life. And had you always had an affinity for nails, Tara?
No, not at all. I still to this day know that it was divine intervention because I didn't do nails. I didn't keep my nails done. I grew up in the hair salon with my mom and my godmother, but no nails. It was hair. Most people would have thought that I would have done hair. I would have thought that I would have done hair, but it just didn't work that way. I graduated on a Saturday. I knew my mom couldn't afford to get me through college. My father had passed. So just out of the blue, it was no one but God. Nails came to mind. And back then you could go to school for 3 months and get your license. So I graduated Saturday, signed the papers on Monday, and was in nail school by Wednesday. And I had to hurry up and do that so that I would be ready for fall semester. And that would give myself a real a job, something that I could make money at, get through school, and also determine my own work hours so I could work around class schedule. But the fall came and got my license and started working and looked at my mom and said, I'm not going to college.
How did your mom take that?
She told me to please not waste money and go do what it is that I want to do.
Wonderful. Oh my gosh. What a blessing. What a gift to be able to have a parent give you that kind of support, that unmitigated, no strings attached, unconditional support. That's fantastic.
There was one string.
Oh, there was one string. Okay.
I had to work.
Okay. So you learned, like in nail school, the initial techniques that they show you, you learn basic manicure and pedicure, and you learn what else?
You learn basic manicure, pedicure. You learn acrylic application. You learn sanitation, which is funny during this time with our COVID pandemic. You
Mhm.
learn that. You learn about infectious diseases and what to do to not cross contaminate. You also
Mhm.
learn state law, the things that you can and you cannot do. We're not doctors. We don't,
Mhm.
most of us don't claim to be doctors.
Right.
So you have to know legally what you can and cannot do
Mhm.
when
Mhm.
performing a service.
Here's what I think that's interesting. A little side note. I went to nail school too. But unlike you, I did not make it a professional, but I love nails. Of course, I love
Yes,
nails, love, love, love nails. So that was thrilled for you to be on today. But one of the things that people don't also know about people that go through and go to school for nails is that you have to learn so much about the muscular system and the skeletal system. Talk a little
yes.
bit about that because people don't really understand how much goes into literally getting your craft, being educated and prepared for your craft.
Well, it's very important that you know these things because you have clients who may have rheumatoid arthritis. You may have clients who have lupus. You may have clients who are diabetic. They may have several different underlying medical issues, and it is very imperative that we as nail techs are educated on these things so we do know whether or not we should work on you. We need to know if you have a broken finger, what can we do? Can we perform that service or can
Mhm.
we not? High blood pressure, what can we do with high blood pressure? Most people don't realize that when you get your hands and arm, your feet and leg massage, if you have high blood pressure, if your blood pressure is already high, you're going to have your blood start flowing and circulating, and that's going to make that go even higher, possibly
Mhm.
go even higher. So you have to be very, very careful. You have to be aware of the different parts of the body, of what goes on with it, what does it do, what can you do. These are things that you need to know so that you don't harm your client,
Mhm.
because
Mhm. That's good.
safety first when it comes to nails. That's the way it
Mhm.
should be. It's
Mhm.
safety first. This is not, yes, this is something that looks great and you go out and you feel great, but in the end, this is maintenance. This is number one. Your health is
Mhm.
priority.
Mhm.
The look is secondary, actually, or at least it should be, especially for the nail tech, because this is a way to better yourself, to keep blood circulation going, to just different things health wise.
Mhm. And interestingly enough, the sanitation is one of the most critical areas that is focused on when you are preparing to be a nail technician. And much of what you learn and that you practice religiously is stuff that people are coming on board to now with regard to COVID-19, right?
Right,
And
right.
so talk about a little bit about how you keep from cross-contaminating when you have your clients.
Well, first of all, when COVID first hit, the question when we return, well, what are you doing different? For us, most of us that were sanitizing and cleaning properly, nothing really other than the fact we're checking temperatures and we're wearing
Mhm.
masks. But one of the things to make sure is to, in between each client, to make sure that your table is properly sanitized. That means
Mhm.
we spraying your nail station down with a hospital grade disinfectant. That should have been done anytime
Mhm.
before. Staff exists, there's different things that grow on surfaces before COVID ever
Mhm.
happened. So one of the first thing you want to do is sanitize your station. The next thing to prevent cross contamination is to make sure that your implements are being soaked in a disinfectant, and preferably a hospital grade disinfectant, that it is immersed fully so that your handles, everything can be clean. You want to make sure that you do it. You want to do it in the proper time so that
Mhm.
we can make sure that all the germs, all bacteria has been killed. So that you're not you're not, you know, transferring it to the next client.
Mhm.
Fortunately for us in Tennessee, we live in a state where your files can be disinfected and can be sanitized as long as
Mhm.
you're using a sanitizable fingernail file. So they can
Mhm.
be immersed. But at the present time, for me, I am throwing away files and choosing to use a new file in between each client.
Mhm.
But just
Mhm.
simple things, making sure that things are being properly sanitized. Product, when you're using products, right now I'm using individual packets so
Mhm.
that there's no double dipping. But some people can't afford, some techs can't afford or cannot do that. So
Mhm.
just making sure that you use some type of applicator, be it a popsicle stick, a spoon,
Mhm.
or something that you're getting your product out, a pump, so that you're
Mhm.
not putting other uh, debris inside good, clean products. So you're just not
Mhm.
crossing over. So
That's good. And those are amazing tips that people should also look for the practice of the nail technician and for the shop where they are or salon where they are overall. Because
yes,
how many times have we seen those horror stories, right? Where someone went in and got a manicure and a full set and overlays and ended up having some horrible infection in their nail because the implements that were being used were not sanitized properly. It's scary
correct.
because it creates a major life risk at that point, and so you
Yes,
don't want that. So that's important, and that was pre-COVID. That's just
yes.
SOP,
That's
right?
always,
Mm-hmm.
always.
That's every day, all day, no COVID or not. That's what you're supposed to have happen. So now, in terms
Yes.
of your journey, 23 years is a long time to be in the game, and you have had a full escalation with a phenomenal opportunity to be connected with the local well-known salon here and still maintain your own identity, which I love. That you are the nail. Okay, so let me go back because I'm excited and I'm proud. I'm so proud of you because the thing that people don't understand oftentimes, Tera, is that for people that are stylists and nail technicians that work in the beauty industry, they're their own business owners. You're your
Yes.
own CEO, and oftentimes that's lost on people. How did you go from having this, I'm going to do this as a part-time and help pay for my school, to literally making this your business?
Well, for me, I guess it was just mindset. That's the only thing I can think of because even though I worked for this popular company from the very beginning, it was always my business.
Mm-hmm.
Even
Mm-hmm.
though I was an employee of theirs, and that goes for you as well because you knew me in my early 20s, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
You were always my client. You were not
Mm-hmm.
only just their client, you were
Mm-hmm.
my client, and that is because my name was on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, so for me, I always treated it as my own. So
Mm-hmm.
when I decided to make it my own, when I decided to stop being an employee and being self-employed, um,
Mm-hmm.
it was already mine. So the
Mm-hmm.
transition really wasn't it wasn't a big transition for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
find it weird saying that because I know and I'm not I know other people struggle to through the transition, but that wasn't my journey. It's just been it's been a very good journey for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
guess it was just mindset, the fact that it was I just always treated it as it was mine. It was mine
Mm-hmm.
from the beginning. It belonged to me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And if you, and here's where we are now, right? When we started, we had classic
Oh, go ahead, please.
manicures, perhaps some, you know, special paraffin dip, a couple of nail designs here or there. And that was like, full stop, like, wow, mess around and put a charm or something on your nail and like you were super fancy schmancy.
Right.
Now,
Now you're writing,
OMG.
you're painting portraits.
Yes. The whole nail game has just gone. And
Yes.
now it's really being recognized and celebrated as artistry. And I really appreciate that. There's so many creative people who have taken this skill and put their artistry with it, and then even propelled it into the different shapes that nails take now, and all of the newness that has come. I watched an interview that Cardi B had done with the Breakfast Club, and she had those super stiletto nails that were like this long, and she said, I'm just used to them. They're like chopsticks. They're like my, if I don't have them, it's weird. And I was like, wow, that's come such a long way, because nails that long were always associated with some negative connotation, right? And now, if you have nails that look just like mine, and goodness, they're just a plain old-fashioned classic French, that was it. If you got a French, you were like, ooh, you think you're special, right?
That's right.
Now, this is boring as I don't know what.
Right. And from a professional point of view, to have nails that long, that takes talent to build that nail. Because if it doesn't start out with the right foundation, that client will go out and crack a nail in a heartbeat. It will not stay. So they're actually we're nail builders. That's the
nail builders.
That's the best way I can put it.
That's true.
So you're never, like I always tell people, you're never too far into the game to not learn. I am always learning. I am always on blogs. I still have a table set up where I'm always practicing on myself, because I feel if I can do it on me, I can do it on anybody. So that's the main thing. It's changing constantly. If you had told me back in 1996, 96, 97, what we would be doing today and how far this business would come, I would have looked at you like you were crazy, because back then we were just manicurists. We were just the manicurists over in the corner waiting on someone to sit down and want to get a manicure. Now there's a whole booming business. People knocking down doors trying to get their manicure and pedicure.
It's amazing. It really is. And this industry was one of the main things that people said, oh my gosh, I'm fiend out to get my nails done. Like, I can't wait. That was one of the first things that people said when we had to quarantine, was that they couldn't get their nails done. They were cutting their nails off. They were soaking their nails off. What do I do? How do I do it? And it was amazing to see how, I guess, taken for granted nail technicians are, right? That we because it was only until you couldn't get to a nail technician and sit down in that chair. And I laughed, Tera, and you said, we're not doctors. I was like, well, technically not legally doctors, but y'all are kind of counselors in a way, because much in the way that you're sitting with someone and listening to them, and you have regular clients, and it's like you come in and it's a therapy session for them.
Oh yes,
right?
most definitely. Because we know I had my bout of wanting to be a psychologist.
Which made sense. It was a perfect segue. Come from the nail chair to the counseling chair.
Exactly.
It made perfect sense. What would you tell a young, aspiring, and maybe not so young, I'll say an aspiring nail technician now? What are some things that you would be able to tell, because you did have a smooth and easier transition? What would you tell someone that was interested in being in the business now?
First thing, don't let anyone steal your joy. Don't let someone come in and tell you can't make it in this business, that you cannot make a living at this. Don't let them tell you this is for play. This is not for play. Just know that you get what you put into this. In the beginning, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. There were weeks where I worked 7 days a week. There were where I didn't know how to say no, because I was building. I needed to build. It comes with sacrifice. You might not be able to go out with your girlfriends or your guy friends and hang out, because right now you're building. But just know that it pays off. Stay true to yourself. Don't let anybody tear you down, because there are people out there who will tear you down, who will make you second guess what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let that happen. Just keep pressing forward, and just know that we all make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we're not perfect, but if you continue to practice your craft, stay true to yourself, be nice to people, treat your clients the way you would want to be treated as a client, that you can go far, you can meet great people, and just stay the course. Just, if this
Mm-hmm.
is what you want to do, just stick with it, because you can make it. This does not
Mm-hmm.
have to be your secondary job, because I was told that you could not do this. And I'm a true witness that yes, you can. This can be this is your career. It can be
Mm-hmm.
your career, because I
Mm-hmm.
haven't done anything else since I was 18.
Mm-hmm. 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 That's amazing. And what a gift, because it's also helpful. And one of the reasons why I am adamant about showcasing Black owned businesses this month, and probably I'll blend a little bit into September, just because I was able to identify so many and I wanted to give them the platform, is because I want there to be someone, and no, whatever their age is, whatever their race is, whatever their anything is, if they have the dream to say, you know, I really want to be a nail technician, I really want to own my own business, and I want to do nails, for them to see you, Tera, will give them the inspiration to know that if she did it, then I can do it, right?
Yes,
That
yes,
it did, all it took was that for you to put that energy in and put in that effort and then stay disciplined. You said that over and over again, and you have to put in the work, but you can do it. And the other
yes,
part that I love is that there is room for everyone. You can create a niche, right? You don't
right.
have to do the super stiletto nails. You don't have to have a nail art. You don't have to be an artistry and create canvases on nails. You can just have there's a huge base for people who just want to have their nails clean and fresh and nice and consistent, right? They want
Yes.
quality work. There's a niche
And
for
that's what I do. That is true, because in the beginning I did do the nail arts and all
that.
of that.
Mm-hmm.
But like I tell people, I decided to retire. I got older. My eyes, you can't draw on a little fingernail like you
Mm-hmm.
used to. I
Mm-hmm.
prefer to just a natural nail and educate my clients on what they're supposed to do. So yes, you have to
Mm-hmm.
find your spot. There's enough
Mm-hmm.
room at the table for everybody.
Mm-hmm. It's important for people to see that. So I'm grateful that you stretched out of your normal comfort zone. I feel special and honored that you did it to be on here with me, and I appreciate it. But it's important to me to not only showcase your talent, but your business, and for you to be a beacon for others who are literally interested in being in your industry. So I was implicit and clear about the people that I selected to showcase this month, Tera, are all in if they're in the they can they're complementary industries if I'm having people on, or that they're at least there's some common denominator. For example, today you're on, and then Carolyn Michael Banks is on. Both of
Right.
you are Black women business owners that provide service. And so it is important for me to say, even through COVID, you can still find a way to exist. You just had to be careful. Now talk a little bit about, and then you guys, if you have questions for Tera, go ahead and type them in, because she's so comfortable right now. I want to catch her in her sweet spot. um, but talk about how you created the financial discipline to sustain yourself and business through this pandemic, or in the midst of this pandemic.
Well, that took that took a lot of that took a whole lot of discipline, because when this happened, we did not know what this was. It was a matter of, oh, this'll, we'll be out for 2 weeks, and
Mm-hmm.
this'll turn around, it'll be okay, not knowing that we would be out for 2 months. I mean, I was out 2 months almost to the day. And that goes back to being disciplined from the beginning, not trying your best not to, overspend, do beforehand.
Mhm.
Also, just during the pandemic, you know, as a nail tech, I like to say that we are hustlers because you do kind of go out there and you get your clients. And so I
Mhm.
kind of found another niche and did some other things
Mhm.
during the pandemic. But just um, financially, I did take, as a business owner, I did take advantage of a lot of the opportunities that were out there, a lot of the
Mhm.
grants that are
Mhm.
out there, and some of the loans that are out there.
Mhm.
But mainly just supplementing income and finances through finding another thing, another job to do,
Which I thought was
or
brilliant. I thought
um,
it was
I
brilliant.
I
Or
taught myself to
you want to talk
sew.
about it real quick, because or do you not want?
I taught myself to sew. I never knew how to sew. I bought a sewing machine back in December. And once again, God, it started back last summer. You need to get a sewing machine, teach yourself how to sew. And it stayed there. In December, I bought the sewing machine. My husband joked, when are you going to have time to teach yourself to sew? And honestly, I didn't know either, but it was there. So when COVID hit and we were out, I taught myself to sew and I started sewing masks and people start asking to buy them. And so that is one of the ways that um, I supplemented and and still doing so. So that
Mhm.
was one of the ways, just reinventing yourself, just being blessed to just sit down and regroup, just
Mhm.
regroup. And of course,
Mhm.
cut some costs in some places. We couldn't go
Right.
shopping like we did. Kind of
Right.
stayed off the internet. Kind of left
Right.
Amazon alone a little bit more. But
Mhm.
just staying busy.
Yeah, that's good. And so I want you to give your information for your business. And I still want to mask. Cammie does have a question or comment. Her question is, what should I watch for when I get a manicure to make sure the technician is following proper sanitation procedures?
One, your hands should be properly sanitized from the beginning. Either they should have you to go wash your hands or use a hand sanitizer. The nail tech should use a hand sanitizer. You should also make sure that the fingernail file is either coming out of a brand new wrapper or it is coming out of a solution. If they just pull the fingernail file out of a pile of files, then we have a problem. you know, One thing I like to do in front of my clients is spray it down with alcohol
Mhm.
before we start, especially before I started using brand new ones. Now, when I go back to Santa, I'll go back to spraying. So make sure that they spray, their fingernail files down. Make sure that the implements have been sanitized. They should be removing their implements from a cleaning solution. Don't be afraid to ask, what's that? Because
Mhm.
that's your health. That it
Mhm.
depends on that. And I would rather for someone to ask me what that is and me to be able to explain to them what I am doing in order to make sure that they're not only to make sure that they're safe, but to make sure that I am safe.
Right.
So look for sanitation. Make sure they have alcohol, hand sanitizer, your pedicure tubs. Don't be afraid to ask them what they use to clean their tubs. I like to clean my tubs in front of people before they
Mhm.
leave. They see that I am cleaning the tub while they're like sitting and drying. Just
Mhm.
ask questions, but you want to make sure they have a disinfectant, that there's definitely some alcohol somewhere available, and
Mhm.
just mainly ask questions. If they can explain what they're doing, then there's a problem.
Get
Run.
out of there. Yeah. Then get out of there and go somewhere else. It's not worth the risk. And the other
Right.
thing too that we didn't mention is the nail technicians also have, or let me say this. should have some type of approval rating, scoring, review from the state. And
Well, yes.
oh, okay.
Well, we have our state license. So you
Mhm,
should look for, nail techs should have wear their name tags
mhm,
with their license number. So you should be able to identify the name tag with the number and the with the license that is supposed to be. It is the state board
mhm,
law, that it is posted. The license is posted so each
mhm.
client can see it. So you can compare the name with the license number to make sure that that is the person that should be working on you. In
Right.
Mississippi, the license actually has the picture on it. But in Tennessee, you'll have to do a little extra. You have to compare.
Yeah.
But they should be wearing a name tag, and they should be, have their license visible to you.
And then if they're in a shop that has, or a salon that is primarily or including, they also get inspections, right, Tara?
Yes. Yes, and that is also visible. These are things that are visible to the public. It should be on a wall somewhere, and we do get scores. And it actually tells on that particular paper what was taken off. So let's say they got a 95. You have to get a little closer to read because it's a little smaller, but it will tell exactly the reason why they received that particular score. It could be as
Mm-hmm.
simple as someone didn't have their license with them that day, or it
Mm-hmm.
could be something else, but it is visible for the public to see. Yes.
Yeah, that's a really good question, Cami. Thank you for that, because oftentimes people don't know what to look for. But I can tell you, from someone who has been a long-term lover of nails and gone to many a salon, I know for you, if you walk into a salon and you know the overall salon is not clean, it is safe to say that it is highly likely that that nail technician station also will not be clean.
Right. It should be clean. No clippings, no dust.
Mhm.
Clean.
Clean, clean,
Yes,
it should be
clean.
clean.
I'm a stickler for cleanliness. Clean.
I can't tell you guys. I have gone in and put my hands down on um the little wrist rest, and Tara will say, "Lift your hands up. We got to spray," and I'm like, "Okay, I just washed my hands." But it's just it's habit, and you want someone who just practices that for your own health and hygiene, for your safety. That the SOP should be their number one default, should be your safety and theirs. And so that's a really good question, Cami. Thank you for asking that. So now, Tara, we talked, and I have not afforded you the opportunity yet to share, how do people get in touch with you? How do they order a mask? Because we know that we will not need a mask. We're going to need a mask.
We're going to need them for a
We're
while,
going to
I
need
think.
masks for a while, because people do not know how to stay at home and they don't know how to socially distance. So we're going to need masks. So how do we get a mask from you?
Well, for one, I'm Tara, so you can call me on my cell phone. I'll give the number out because if anybody has ever had their nails done, 9 times out of 10, they have my number. So it's
Mm-hmm.
901-219-9538. You can also contact me through Facebook, Tera Richardson-Ezell. Um, Tracy always knows how to find me, so she can put you in contact with me as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's there's just several different ways, but
Mm-hmm.
definitely you can call the phone number 901-219-9538 and get in
And tell us
contact
a
with
little bit
me.
more about your mask. What kind of fabric are you using? What kind of closures are you doing? A loop around the loop? Are you doing things around the head? How are you doing your masks?
Well, my masks are made out of 100% cotton, and
Mm-hmm.
it's called the Olson mask, Olson mask, and you can
Mm-hmm.
Google it. It exists. It has my masks have a nose guard in it for those of us who wear glasses, so that your
Mm-hmm.
glasses do not are less likely to fog. It also
Mm-hmm.
has a filter pocket in it so that you can put an extra filter in it. I usually like to place a disposable mask inside of mine.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, I started doing the ear loops, so they're adjustable ear loops. They are
Nice.
not the elastic, they're more nylon, so they're a lot more comfortable if you have to wear a
Okay.
mask daily. And also, I have masks where I use cord, which is like a thin parachute cord, and it has
Yeah.
an adjustable cord lock, which is a toggle that can go behind your head.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is good
Smart.
for those who have that have to use hearing aids for one, because your hearing aids,
Mm-hmm.
some people,
Mm-hmm.
the hearing aids are
Right.
set on,
Looped around.
or if your ears are just
Mm-hmm.
plain sensitive. So I have several
Yeah.
different kind. I personally make mine as you order, so I don't go ahead and make a whole lot of them. So I like
Mm-hmm.
to send pictures of the fabric that I do have and
Mm-hmm.
have them numbered, and you just send me the number back and what you
Smart.
like, and then I just go ahead and make it, you know.
Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
Y'all give me a heart or thumbs up if you are interested in having that. I will post it, and I looked it up so that you would see this. There's a glare, but that is the design, the Olsen mask. So you can
Yes.
see how the pattern is. That is what it looks like. And I wanted to share that with you. And then if they want to get their nails done by the master, how do they contact you?
Same phone number, 901-219-9538. And I am an independent contractor, and I am inside Google Salon at 3400 Poplar Avenue. So the best way, they do not make my appointments. I make my own appointments. So the best way to contact me is the 901-219-9538 number, or on Facebook. I do have a page that's called Tera Richardson Nail Designs, and that is my Facebook page, which also has the number on there. Just keep in mind that usually I'm working Wednesdays through Saturday, and I'm constantly working. So if you need to contact me, the best way to do it is text me during that time, because I do not like to pick up the phone while I'm working on my clients. I
Right.
do my best
Not that she
to
does
stay off
not
the
like to pick up the
phone.
phone. She does not pick up the phone while she's working on clients.
Right. I do not. I was trying to be nice, but that is true. I
Yeah.
do not pick up the
Yeah.
phone.
And I can tell you, as a regular client of Tara's, that if you're interested in having a nail service with her, go ahead and reach out and get scheduled, because she stays super booked, because she has a regular recurring clientele list that is pretty long.
Yes.
So, which is a gift, but it just speaks to her quality service, her personal service, and that she has absolutely maintained 100% safety precautionary measures for every client. And she does it consistently as if you were the first person she met at that day, with the same amount of zeal for your safety. And so that is fully appreciated. That's never been a concern of mine. The biggest thing I have to figure out is what color am I going to get on my nails?
And to remind me to not break the orange wood stick.
Yes. Okay, so tell them real quick about that, because they'll be like, do what? That's your story to
So
tell.
there's a stick that most of us use, most nail techs use, to possibly clean out the free edge of your nail, or some people use it to push the cuticle back, or some use it to clean up the polish from around the cuticles. I do all of that with my orange wood stick, but at the
Yes,
end, when I am done, I have made it a habit to break my stick in front of my
yes.
clients so that they know that I'm not reusing the stick. Well, Tracy does not want me to break the stick because Tracy wants the stick. And out of habit, she has to basically get me because I break it so fast.
She'll just, because she's in a rhythm. And I said, don't break that orange wood stick. I want it. It
So,
comes in handy. You can do all kinds of stuff with a good sanitized orange wood stick. And so here's the thing. She can't use it on another client, but it's yours. You can use
right.
your orange wood stick. You can take your orange wood stick home, y'all, spray it down with some alcohol and use it.
That's true, but I'm so used to just showing you all that it's not being reused that I
Right?
automatically just break it. So I'm
Yeah.
trying to get
She
better
isn't
by
reusing it,
giving
but
it.
I am.
Right.
This has been great. So you guys, and we have another guest coming up, Tera. Carolyn Michael Banks is also joining me this afternoon. Once we finish, she's going to join online and talk about her business and tour possibilities. So I'm excited I get to have not one, but two guests today. And
yes, I can't wait to hear.
it's going to be great. And you made it. You did it.
I did it. I had to face my anxieties. I was determined that I was going to do this.
Y'all give Tera a heart and a thumbs up. She did it. She's her first time, and she did a fantastic job. Did she not? Very informative, amazingly good pace and pitch. I'm the one that's over here going crazy like it's my first time. But y'all, if you went to T-Row Crew, you know this is what I do. So
that's right.
I'm not gonna change. I can't rehearse being myself. It just is what it is. Okay.
That's right.
So, Tera, you can drop off now. I'm going to resume in between and set up for Carolyn. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you. If you have anything you want to share before you go, tell your number one more time so people can get in touch with you, because I do want a mask. Okay. We talked about that, and I'm waiting. Yes. I'm waiting on this special fabric for you to get again from your sister-in-law.
Yes.
Okay.
And actually, I have one made, so I'll send you a picture of it.
Okay, fantastic. And I just want y'all to know that I adore Tera, but for every business that I support, I pay. So don't get it twisted. Right. You got to support these businesses. It's not a you made it for me and it's a gift. I'm paying. Okay, so I encourage you to pay. Pay for the things that you want these people that are gifted and talented and hustling to help them. I'm a small black business too. Tracy Time isn't running on good looks and films.
Right.
Tera said that this was so interesting and informative. Thank you, Tera.
Thank you.
And Cammie came back and said, and inspiring. I agree, Tera.
Thank you, Cammie. Thank you so
I agree.
much.
Just a wonderful, a fantastic journey, a great way of overcoming, of taking ownership of your business, identifying that you can get things done, and encouraging other people along the way. She has served in the capacity at Gould Salon as a nail director, and she's maintained her independent status and would love to have you as her client. So you can call Tera at
901-219-9538.
Or you can contact her through Facebook on her Facebook page at Tera Richardson's Nail Design. And if you don't want to talk to her immediately, go ahead and send her a text message. She's responsive. Other people say that you can send them a text message and they never respond, but she's responsive. And as long as she's not with the client. So don't expect, like, if she works Wednesday through Saturday. So you know what that window is. So get in while you can, and you won't ever likely go away. But know that Tera just told you her sweet spots. Tell them again, so they'll be clear, Tera. Your sweet spot is what?
Safety.
And then after that, she focuses on natural nails.
Yes. Thank you.
Safety and natural safety. All right, Tera, I'm looking forward to seeing you when I get my mask.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll touch base after this because I can't wait.
Okay, sounds good.
That's been the hardest thing.
Tracy.
Thank you.
Bye.
So this is fantastic, and I'm waiting for Carolyn Michael Banks to come on because she is my next guest. Let's see. I am excited. I'm going to keep talking to you in hopes that she'll join. We practiced on Saturday for this, so I'm super excited for her to be on. And I hope, oh wait, I think this might be her now. No. Y'all know what Memphis Marinades is? Who is Memphis Marinades, y'all? Let's see what they got to say. I'm gonna bring them on camera. A little impromptu add-on. They thought they wanted to be on, but they didn't. They don't know me, do they? I will bring you on camera. You want to be on camera? Be on camera. I'm all for it. Carolyn Michael Banks is here. Woohoo! All right, Carolyn. I am looking looking for you to come on board. I can't wait to see you. Carolyn, are you Memphis Marinades? You got another Memphis? Because I don't know what that is. All right, Carolyn, I can't wait for you to join. I'm gonna wait for the prompt to show me that you can be on, and we're gonna get to it and do it. I'm super excited. It should give me the notification to tell me that you are there. You are. It's not letting me add you quite yet though, so I'm gonna just keep talking. Okay, so y'all tell me, what was your favorite part about the conversation that Tera Richardson-Ezell and I just had about her being a nail technician? Like, was it that she loves safety, that she's been practicing safety since before COVID-19? Did you love her story and how inspiring it was that at 18 she wasn't really sure what she was going to do? She knew her parents couldn't afford to go, her mother couldn't afford to send her to college, so she started with that as a way to supplement her income so she could afford to go to school, and then fell in love with the whole concept of it and said, Mom, I'm not going to school. One of the things that I didn't focus on, I mentioned it, but I didn't spend a lot of time on it. And while we're waiting for Carolyn, I can mention this. If you are in a position where you can create some level of influence for someone, and you can be a person to support another person's journey and help them achieve the pursuit of their goal, please do it. One of the things that I thought that was so special about what Tera said is that her mother said, go and do what you want to do. Just don't waste time and money. Don't waste time going to school if you want to be a nail technician. Oh, Memphis Marinades is a friend of Carolyn's. Well, welcome, Memphis Marinades. I can't wait to see you. I was about to bring you on camera. You were about to be on camera with me. Carolyn is on. Carolyn, it's not letting me add you. That's so weird. Because we tested this out, and you're on your phone and you're on the live, and it's giving me the option to add everybody else that's here, but yours isn't highlighted yet. So I'm not gonna give up though. If anyone's ever seen me live at lunch, they know I don't give up, and we're good. But I am interested in knowing, what were your thoughts? Please share with me what you thought was like was it informative in terms, Cammie said, did you learn that there are so many other aspects to being a nail technician in addition to literally having someone's nail in your hand and polishing a nail or preparing a nail for a design? Did you also know that, in terms of the boards, for the state board, that each state has its own rules and regulations with regard to what happens? Carolyn, do not be dismayed. We're gonna get it. We're gonna get it. No worries at all. It's gonna happen for us. It's gonna let me pull you up at the right time. And if you are on your, give Carolyn the camera. I'm waiting on her. I'm waiting to get her on, Memphis Marinades. Memphis Marinades, tell me more about your business while we're on here. Because I'd love to know more about it. I see in the thumbnail that you have packaging. And so I am excited to know more about Memphis Marinades. Yeah, Carolyn, if you go out and come back in, maybe it'll recognize you, and then I can add you on. Because I see that you're on here. I just can't add you. Memphis Marinades, I'm waiting on you. While we're getting the camera for Carolyn, I'm waiting on you. Tell me more about Memphis Marinades. I think we got it now, y'all. We're cooking with Crisco. Yes, indeed. There she is, getting out and getting back in. Did it, Carolyn? So we're going to hear from Carolyn Michael Banks, who is the owner of A Tour of Possibilities. I cannot wait for you guys to hear from her. This is one of our...
Lord. Boy, the Lord has a way of making you talk to him when you haven't talked to him in a minute. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry you had trouble, but it worked out. You were smart to get out and get back in. That's totally the way to do it, right? And you look fantastic. Love your super cute glasses, Carolyn. Oh my gosh, super cute. You look fantastic and so confident in the video today. Like, wow.
You
How
would
are
have
you
seen me
doing?
4 minutes ago when I couldn't get on this thing. I'm great. I'm fantabulous.
Oh goodness, I am fantabulous too. Now that you're on and we can have this conversation, let me tell you what I know. A tour of possibilities is one of the gifts of Memphis that could have, if it were a person, it would need an unsung episode. Okay. If a tour of possibilities could have an unsung, um, I literally have, from the moment that I found out about a tour of possibilities, have been absolutely mesmerized by the level of knowledge and history that you have about the city, especially because you are a transplant to the city. So I said, you know, you sent me your bio, and in the spirit of you having had palpitations, this will help soothe you. This will help bring your BP down, Carolyn. So instead of me reading it, give us a quick overview and tell us about you being transplanted here, and then how you got a tour of possibilities started and what it is.
Ooh, now you ask a storyteller that question, so sit back and
I
relax.
know. That's why I asked. This is your sweet spot.
So yes, I am definitely a transplant, born and raised in the boogie down Bronx.
Boogie
And
down.
that's right. And to think that I am now sitting in Memphis, Tennessee is nothing short of a plan that only God had, because it was not on my bucket list. But born and raised there, went to school in Massachusetts, went to DC during my summer break in college, and had my very first tour experience and absolutely loved it. So after I graduated, I really thought I was supposed to be a social worker. I thought that was what the plan was. I quickly found out it wasn't. I was in protective services, and dealing with children who were broken and burned was not good for my spirit. So I left Massachusetts, moved back to DC. I had a bit of an ego thing, because ego is real. And I remember when I moved back to DC, I was sitting in Burger King. Now, the things you remember are amazing. I couldn't tell you what happened yesterday, but I was sitting in Burger King with my cousin. And I said, I got to go to work. And she said, why don't you be a tour guide again? I said, I got papers now. I'm degreed to go back and do what I did. And she said, you need to work. You need to work. I'm like, oh yeah. And I did love it. So I did. I went back to the same company I worked for when I was in college, and went for another company, became a general manager of that company. It was a national sightseeing tour company, and was very blessed to kind of go through the ranks and become general manager. When I became general manager, I'm thinking I had some kind of authority. I don't know. You kind of get the title. You think you got some. So one of the things I did was to add African American history to our script, because we had none. And here I'm thinking this is the best thing since sliced bread. We're one of the largest tour companies in the city. And I just knew that my CEO would call me to say, Carolyn, and he did. He called and he said, what's all this black stuff? And I said, oh my gosh, was there grease on the seat? Do I need to send somebody a check? Because I'm a good GM. I can send a check. And he said, no, it's not grease. And I said, well, are you talking specifically about that we now have African American history in our script? And he said, I'm getting calls, I'm getting letters that people are just too uncomfortable with this information. And I said, well, history can be uncomfortable. African American history can be extremely uncomfortable. Doesn't mean we shouldn't talk about it. It just means it's not presently in our script. Long story short, because it really is a long journey, he asked, well, he kind of told me that they're getting ready to open up an operation in Savannah, Georgia. And I believe he thought that I would say, oh, I'm not going, because I love me some DC. But to his surprise, I simply said, when do I leave? Wow. So I packed up, moved to Savannah, Georgia. I opened that operation, meaning I did the research, got the script written, got everybody trained, and I added African American history, because it's history, right? So I get another call from the CEO, and he said, I want you to train one of our managers from another city in the country. And I said, no problem, send them. I train people all the time, no problem. Yeah. I said, but I do have one question. I said, am I training my replacement? Without hesitation, he said yes. And again, I'm thinking he thinks I'm going to say, well, I'm out of here. So I said, send him. So he sends the guy. I train him. I think now Savannah's going to be my city because I fell in love with Savannah, Georgia. Then I get another call. This time he said, we're going to open up in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, I told you I was a Bronx girl. So moving back to the Northeast was not a problem. So I went back. I went up to Philly, did the research, did the route, get everybody trained. I'm thinking, again, this is great. This time I didn't get a call. This time I got a visit from another manager. And the bottom line was they were downsizing that operation. So my response was, oh no, who's going? It was me. And I got to tell you, it took more than a moment to wrap my head around that because, I had moved and all this other kind of stuff. But what I realized was that it was an answer to a prayer. Because my prayer was, God, if I had some time, I would build my own company. I'd put in it what I wanted to put in it, da-da-da-da-da. And, then I could almost hear the words, well, daughter, you got time now because you have no job. So I actually started a tour of possibilities in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the icing on the cake was that's where I met the man of my dreams who happened to live in Memphis. So that's how I got to get from Philly to Memphis.
Okay.
And here I am. Yes.
And here you are. And wow, here you are. So now Tour Possibilities was not born here, but you'd never know it with the wealth of history that you have from Memphis. How did you acquire all of the knowledge that you have for a Tour of Possibilities, Carolyn?
It was a lot of research, and when I think back, I didn't realize that all those cities I was going to was preparing me to what it was like to go into a city you knew very little about and then know a lot about. So it was just a whole lot of research. And the thing that's funny for me is I did not like history growing up. That was not my subject of choice.
Wow.
Because I had no connection to it. I mean, it was dates, it was wars, but once I started studying us, all of a sudden, I knew the importance of why a date needed to be known. Because if I told you something happened in the 1800s, you're thinking it might have happened in 2009. But no, you need to know it happened already. And unfortunately, we're seeing it again.
Right. That's right. That's right. That's good. And so then you had already had the name established. You already had the business established. You moved here with the love of your life and settled into, the bliss of marriage, and then did the research.
Yes.
And then where did you go from there? How did you become what you are now?
Well, I didn't. When I first got here, I actually was working for New Horizons, a computer learning center. Then I started working for Trust Marketing. It's a PR firm here. And then I spent almost 10 years of my life with the Tennessee Lottery, which one day we'll have a story about. But it was kind of like a reckoning of mortality. My sister had passed, my dad had passed, my mom had passed within a very short period of time. Oh, wow. And so I'm saying to myself now, do I really want to spend the rest of my days in and out of convenience stores? Because I was a sales rep. And, sometimes I would go home, watch the news, and see somebody who had just been shot at a store where I was 2 hours ago. And I'm like, oh, no, I need to do something else. Yeah. So it came down to what could I do? I'm now a mature individual. I didn't want to completely start over, but I knew that doing tours was the love that I had. It was something that when I woke up, I knew I'd have the energy, I'd have the excitement. I knew I'd be meeting people from all over the world. I knew I'd be able to go back into research, which I loved. And so that's kind of how it came about. And we just celebrated 6 years on August 6th.
Woo!
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, nothing but God, I'm telling you. But 6 years. So it's been a journey that has been one of a lot of ups and downs, hitting a lot of walls sometimes. And when the pandemic hit, when you think you've been through some stuff and then a pandemic hits, like, oh, this was not on the list of things to do, or any clue of that.
Right.
It's been challenging.
Challenging is the key, and not unlike any other small business owner, we know you build your endurance and faith, right, through those challenges, but good night, you get into a sweet spot and then bam, you hit this wall. that is the pandemic. And with not unlike Tera, you too rely on face-to-face, in-person contact to make sure that you execute your job.
That's right.
One of the things that I love that you did this year that was in the lean in to the virtual aspect of what you and I talked about over the weekend was on MLK Day. So talk about what you did that day in the midst of everything to make sure that you made your mark for the city in commemorating that special day.
Actually, it was on Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
That's right. That's okay.
Juneteenth. Yes.
That's all right. And that was
we weren't pandemic. We were pandemic. We just didn't know we were pandemic. It was Juneteenth.
Yeah,
yes.
It was Juneteenth.
Thank you for the correction.
No problem. No problem. And I chose to launch the tour that day, but it's called the Memphis Caravan Tour. And as you mentioned, my tour primarily used to be people getting into my 10-passenger luxury van and we drive around the city. And even though 10 was less than the number they said would be safe, I did not feel safe putting my team member, Jackie Murray, who's an extraordinary guy, or myself in harm's way. So, and it's really hard to social distance in a 10-passenger van. So we started the Memphis Caravan Tour, which is simply, you get in your car, you follow the van throughout the city. We connect you through a Zoom link so you can actually hear the tour as you go through the city. But the beauty is you get to breathe on your own people. So you're not breathing on anybody new. I don't have to worry if I clean the door handle just right or if I didn't sanitize. I mean, I had to not have that as part of the program. So we have had an opportunity to pivot in a way that, and I must also say, this was not something that just came to me. Got to give credit where credit is due. So in 2018, Toyota, who did tours throughout the country once a year, they did African American history tours, and it's called Steeped in History. Well, I was very blessed to be chosen to do the one here in Memphis.
Wonderful.
So what happened was they chose 8 local influencers and bloggers from Memphis to take this tour. So they gave everybody a car for a week. Now that was really cool. They gave everybody a new Toyota car for a week, but they said, we want you to do this caravan thing. And my eyes were like, how do you do that? And they said, you just link up. And yeah, so we did it. So it was amazing how one day, as I was sitting numb from this pandemic, not knowing how this was going to move forward. And then it's kind of like, you know how sometimes you hear your mother talking to you? And my mother was like, what's the name of your company? And I'm like, A Tour of Possibility. She goes, so what have I taught you all these years about what's possible? All things are in fact possible. So use something you already know about. And it's like, revelation. So yeah, so because of that, you know, that was something that had been done before. I just needed to kind of bring it back and kind of make it to where it worked on a daily basis.
And on A Tour of Possibility, because I'm super excited. I jumped ahead and we need to go back for a second, Carolyn. Tell everyone what A Tour of Possibilities is.
Oh, details. Just come anyway. Come and just experience it. No, it's an African American history tour of Memphis, where we share information that is normally not included in traditional tours. Because what normally happens on a traditional tour is what was happening with the company I used to work for. Anything that might make you uneasy, they would never put in. But I'm like, how do you have a historical tour and leave out things that are in fact uncomfortable? And it's not just with tours. It's the fact that our history in general leaves out things that are uncomfortable. So the fact that what I do gets people sometimes to be introduced to things that they had never heard about or reminded of things they never heard about, but to really kind of bring history alive. This city is amazing. There is something around every corner. It was relatively easy to do a tour here. In fact, what made it hard was trying to put it in 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
And that's how long it takes to go around on this particular tour. Yeah.
Yeah. The tour is phenomenal. Let me say to you, bravo and well done, Carolyn Michael Banks. A Tour of Possibility has hit it. And the thing that you will find for first, before I make this comment, how do you schedule a tour? How do they connect with you to learn some of just a little piece of the lion's share of knowledge that you have?
It's a really easy process. You go to atopmemphis.com. Let me repeat that. That's atopmemphis.com. That's the website. You look for Memphis Caravan Tour. You select it. You select the date. You select the time, and you're done.
And you're done.
And we start right down at the Welcome Center. We start there primarily because it's right by the river, and that's where the city began. So it's a story of time, and we try to do it chronologically. But I'm fascinated with it, even to today. And I had mentioned Jackie Murray earlier. She is an actress. She's a director. She's a singer. She's amazing. So you want to talk about bringing the history to life. You know, I hate to follow the sister. I mean, she's really good.
She is. She really is. How did you find her? How did you guys connect?
We were working on a project, Fort Pillow. If you're familiar, Fort Pillow is in Henning, Tennessee, and we were collaborating on this project. We were reading the names of the African American soldiers who were slaughtered by Nathan Bedford Forrest's troop in Fort Pillow, and again, we just were brought together. The timing was perfect for her, and she's been with the team now for a little over a year. And I couldn't have done this without her, because the one thing about business, doing the tours I love, but that's not the business. It's the stuff that happens outside of doing the tour that keeps you in business. Right. So it was really hard initially without her to stretch myself to every point, to get to all the meetings. Now that there's Zoom, that helps. But I mean, to connect with people, to build the relationships in the city, that's the part that's no joke. This business side is no joke.
Most people, and how many times have we heard it? In the movie business, in the music business, in the nail business, in the tour business, in the coaching business, people always accidentally omit that one word that is synonymous, is the common denominator, and you have to make sure you take care of and handle your business or you won't exist. So it's critical. What do you tell? Okay, so let me go back for the business. How many people can sign up for a caravan in one time slot, in one day?
We can accommodate up to 5 cars.
Okay.
How many people you put in your car safely is up to you.
So the fee then is per vehicle?
Well, I have something special just for your guest, Tracy Rowe.
Okay.
We're doing an August promotion. So instead of it being $45 per person, just because of you and the support you've always shown me, we're doing the Tracy Rowe special. So the promo code is TR63, and it's $63 per car. Again, you can put as many people in the car. I'd appreciate if you just make sure it's legal so everyone has a seat. Don't put people in the trunk and other. But it's $63 per car, and this will be until the end of August.
That is amazing.
There's a reason behind everything. So the reason why it's 63 is because not only did ATOP have a birthday on August 6th, but August 7th, I had one. And I turned 63. So that's the reason. Whoa. Whoa.
I love it. All being connected. Hey, it's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. It's your birthday. I love it. That's awesome, Carolyn. Thank you for having that special. TR63 for those of you listening. One vehicle, one flat rate, $63 with that special code. That is amazing. I'll make sure that I post that. Thank you so much. That's so sweet.
Yes.
So it's 2.5 hours long.
Yes.
And you tour the city. And what do you think? What has been your takeaway for people that have been the most, oh my gosh, I didn't know that? What is the thing that you commonly see?
It's more of than just one, oh my gosh. It's I can't believe there's so much. That's kind of what it is. And what excites me are not just my guests from all over the world, but it's native Memphians who, when they take the tour, they go, I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. I mean, for me, one of the first things I read about was how Memphis got its name. And the
Yeah.
fact that it came from Africa, the fact that, you know, the area we call Cairo, Egypt, once known as Memphis, to me gives me a connection to the motherland that I had never thought of when I thought of Memphis, really.
No,
So
right.
we start off making sure you're real clear that we are so connected. And not only are we just connected to Memphis, we're connected to a city that was an incredible city, which is why the founders decided to call us Memphis, because they knew of its greatness. So when you have a city that starts with the name that's great, yes, and
Right.
we have had issues. We continue to have issues. We will always have issues because that's life.
Yeah.
But man,
Yeah.
there's some deep greatness that just runs in our name alone.
That's good. That's a nugget right there. You got that. That was TR free. Drop mic. I love it, Carolyn. I love it. That was good. I mean, who on here knew that was the name of Memphis came from that? Who knew? If you knew, go ahead and shout out. I knew. And Carolyn, I want you to know your friend Memphis Marinades is on here. And while we were waiting to get you on, they posted, "Give Carolyn the camera."
Oh, Jim Bolin. Go ahead, Jim. Jim and I worked at the lottery together. I tell you, one day we got some stories for you. But anyway.
I can only imagine. We'll have to have a special edition for that. Oh, let's see. Deborah Lamont said, did I say it right? Lamont? You know Deborah Lamont? Deborah Layman? She said.
Oh, Deborah, yes.
Layman. That was my Michigan, Lamont. You are a gifted historian. Thank you for sharing your amazing gifts and talents. You're the best. Love you. And I could not say it better. Absolutely concur. So now for those of you that are on with Carolyn, here's an opportunity for you to ask her questions. A tour possibility is an amazing, amazing, amazing. Do you think I think it's amazing? Amazing tour. It literally, you are literally transformed because when you go into the tour, you come in thinking, from a tourist perspective, because oftentimes people look at tours like, oh, this is going to be fun. It's going to be great. I'm going to see things I've never seen. That's what you get, but it's so much more than that. This is truly an opportunity for you to experience firsthand a history lesson in things that are African-American Memphis. That is how I look at it. It is a wealth of knowledge. It's almost like you want to take notes as you're going through because there's so much content in the tour. And it's literally, like you said, Carolyn, around every corner. And it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that we don't have as much exposure. And that's why I said you should have an unsung episode, right? Because a tour of possibilities should be a standard staple offering at the Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center, right? It should be one of the things that they just have available to showcase and highlight, especially this month when so many people coming from another parts of the world regularly, you know, anti-COVID, would be here in droves to come to Graceland to be on one street that is historical. And we won't even mention that Elvis has so much that he gleaned from African-American culture and people that he wouldn't be who he was if it hadn't been for African-Americans. And so,
absolutely.
Just a wealth of knowledge and a wealth of history here that should swell Memphians, honestly, with an overwhelming amount of pride.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And I've also, you know, ATOP stands for Tour Possibilities, but now I have a new term. It is a tour on purpose. ATOP, a tour on purpose. Because I really feel it's so much, as you just very well put, more than a tour. And just so that your guests will understand, this is moving in various directions. We have the caravan tour. The next thing will be the audio driving tour. Nice. So it'll be on an app for those who want to do it truly on their own when they want to do it. It'll be GPS located, censored. So as you approach a site, you'll hear my voice come through your speakers, and it'll be turn by turn directions. Then the third level will be for those who may never ever get to Memphis. So it'll be a virtual tour. So you could sit in the comfort of your home, and instead of getting turn by turn directions, you'll get pictures of the city as we go through. So that's what's coming.
I
That's what's
love
coming.
that. I absolutely love that. When is that coming? I can't wait. I can't wait to tell people about that. Keep me posted. Let me know.
Yes, stay tuned. See the
Yes.
gray? It's getting
Yes.
thicker. But
Yes.
yeah, just if you go to atopmemphis.com, that'll keep you connected with when these new things develop. We're looking now at working with corporates as well, because you know the one thing about the tragedy of Mr. Floyd was how corporates started to put all these things
Right.
out, like we really understand the cause, and I'm like, well, you have diversity classes and all this stuff in your organizations, but what are you really doing?
Right.
So here in Memphis, I'm trying to get them to get their people out and
That's
really
good.
get a sense of what this city is about, and then maybe have conversations they don't want to have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
That's
we're
good.
not moving
You know,
until we have a
it
conversation.
it's a perfect, I mean, especially now in
Mm-hmm.
the height of the awakening, right? My sister calls it the Floyd Revolution, is what we're in, which I love that. And a tour of purpose, a tour that is perfect because, to your point, Carolyn, there are so many opportunities, especially once again here in Memphis. We have major corporations that are headquartered here that have hundreds of thousands of employees and team members that are always in a position where they need to have either some unconscious bias training, some critical or crucial conversations, some diversity and inclusion training, or a booster shot of some sort. And any part of, even if they didn't give the full amount, but I love that you're transitioning this to expand the offering of it, because it gives them an opportunity to take, even if it's one segmented piece of it, that will be the catalyst for the conversation, right? That is just absolutely vital for not just this community, but for all of them. And I would double dog dare a company that's in this city that has more than 1,000 employees, particularly, because we know we have at least 4 or 5 here that qualify under that umbrella, to incorporate and work with the tour of possibility or tour of purpose, to use that, because there are so many people here, all from the hues, full spectrum of hues, right? They have these unconscious biases, and part of it isn't because they want to have them; it's unconscious for a reason, right? And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
many of the people, and not just non-people of color, have no knowledge of the history of what's happened here. And when they do learn about it, you're right, it makes them very uncomfortable, because it is a very uncomfortable history. But it is part of our history, and it's not singular our, it's a collective our, right?
Mm-hmm. And the more you know, the more you can recognize what's happening, or hopefully what's happening in front of you. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times people are looking at issues of today and going, oh my gosh, I can't believe, but if you know history, you know it's been there before.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is
Mm-hmm.
new under the sun. The problem is so
Mm-hmm.
many of us never knew it. And
Right.
we know about the book, The Miseducation of the Negro. Yep.
Right.
But there really has been the miseducation of our country. And the
Period.
one thing
Mm-hmm.
that came so clear to me with having guests from all over the world was knowing how much more they knew about our history than those who were born and raised here. Now,
Mm-hmm.
granted, that's often intentional. So I
Mm-hmm.
also say, if you know that's the case, what are you doing to make sure you learn it? Because
Right.
there's absolutely no reason for you not to know some stuff. That's
Right.
willful ignorance, is really what it is. We
That is,
walk around with these
that's
computers in
it.
our hands, but even that, you need to know where to start. I mean, so there's
Right.
so much to learn, so much to do, and that's what my
Right.
purpose is to just give you something. Maybe I need to look that up. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
voting rights, we have a
Mm-hmm.
problem with voting issues. Believe
Mm-hmm.
me, this is not the beginning of that.
Right.
This has been since day one.
Right.
So,
That's
we
right.
should be able to be at a point now where we go, wait a minute, hold up, wait a minute. We've seen this before. We've seen voter suppression before. It
Right.
may look a little different now, but it's still trying to do the same thing. And not
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, close our eyes to it and go, well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe this will get better. No, because it's
Mm-hmm.
clear it's obviously getting worse.
It's building. You are so right. Oh my gosh. You could, Carolyn, if I'm telling you something, I'm a soapbox queen. I'm not getting on the soapbox today, except to support ATOP And I want you to know that what you do is a gift to Memphis. Who you are is a gift to Memphis. And one of the reasons that this platform exists for me, one of the things I have as my purpose for going live at lunch is to showcase and expose and create awareness of businesses like yours. It is literally, I tell people all the time, this started in the pandemic because I was home and talking to people who, you know, as a coach, they would tell me they were lonely, and some of my clients, you know, were isolated because they live alone and they wanted to be connected. And so this ATOP creates some level of connectivity, not just information and history. And it is important for us, for all of us, to pick up our part, right? We got to take our part and help bring along people on the way so that they won't have this willful ignorance, because it is literally, we are at a crucial point right now, right? And you said it, there's nothing new under the sun. And so if ATOP will have the opportunity to educate people, they can see, and maybe, just maybe, having the opportunity to see some of the things that are already happening to people of color in the city and in the country, maybe, just maybe, will serve as catalyst to light a fire under folks, to get them registered to vote, to get them engaged and informed so that they can cast educated votes and not just think that it doesn't affect them or they're not involved, right? I mean, it's all connected. What are your thoughts on that?
It's absolutely, we're all connected. And I think if COVID has done one thing, is to be really clear on how connected we are. Not just neighborhood to neighborhood. We're talking worldwide. We're talking about something that has affected the entire world. So if you can see how a disease like this COVID thing can affect, racism can affect the same way. I mean, everything is like this. And the more you think you can distance yourself from it, the more it can come right up and bite you in a place that is not comfortable. So either we recognize what's happening, make a choice. And the one thing my mother, who speaks to me constantly, she always reminded me that, daughter, you have a choice. And either you choose to do this or you choose to do this. But whatever you choose, there'll be a consequence to it. So choose carefully. And if it comes up in front of you and you choose to ignore it, she said, know this, it will come back. So we have lessons to learn. And if you don't learn the lessons, you will have to repeat them. That's just how it goes.
Wow.
And don't act like you don't know. You will have to learn.
Wow. That's it. That's it. I got a whole bunch of pastor friends, including my pastor is my friend. And that little piece you said right there, Carolyn, that sounds like somebody could add some scripture to it and preach on that. I mean, because that's gospel truth. So I'm going to afford the opportunity for the viewers who are with us. We know Memphis Marmalade.
Marinade. The best marinade on the planet. Buy local.
Don't get me.
Buy local. Memphis Marinade.
Buy local. Support local. We want to open it up for you if you have any questions for Carolyn. And I am just absolutely delighted. So while we're waiting to see if anyone has a question, go ahead and tell our viewers once again how they can get in touch with you and about this fantastic special you have for the month of August.
Yes. Please go to atopmemphis.com. atopmemphis.com. That'll connect you to my Instagram page, to my Facebook page, to my Twitter page, because if you have me try and tell you what they are, that could be scary. But know that we are having a special promotion because we believe in celebrating the fact that we're still here. We want to celebrate that we're still well, thank God. We want to celebrate that. So make sure you use in the promo code TR, as in Tracy Rowe, but don't put the whole name out there, just TR63, because 63 years on the planet, and that'll get you a $63 cost for per car as opposed to a per person
which is
fee.
Wonderful. That's fantastic. And the booking is on the site. They pick their date, pick their time. Now, are there multiple times throughout the day, Carolyn, that they can choose from?
It's Tuesday through Sunday. So Monday we rest. Tuesday through Sunday, either at 9:30 or 12:45. So you have a morning or afternoon option.
Okay, fantastic. And so that's why today was perfect for us to talk, because even though today's the day she's supposed to rest, she's not resting. Because I was like, I
Oh,
want you on my show.
let me tell you, I want to thank you before we get ready to wrap this up. I know our time is limited, Sister Tracy. I can't remember where we first met. I just know that our paths have crossed for a reason, and your
Mhm.
support is priceless. I mean, you have just, I don't take these opportunities for granted. And I know there's a gazillion other, because I saw the list of businesses who responded. So being selected means so much to me. And for those who have chosen to join us, I thank you as well for joining, and just spread the word. That's what I need. People say you got to ask for what you want. So I'm asking you, tell people about the experience. If you've
That's right.
not done it yourself, do it so you could really talk about it, but
That's right.
also just spread the word. And we have these wonderful devices again, where all you got to do is put it in your little feed and let it go. Let it
Hmm.
go. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh, my battery's about to die. Okay, but that's
You
good.
talk about let it go. Your battery's like, I'm about to let you go. But that's good, and it's perfect timing because we are about to wrap. But I just want to thank you. First of all, it's my absolute pleasure, and you're right. I don't remember when either, but I know we've crossed and had and connected. And I looked at you, I was like, Carolyn. You're like, oh, wait a minute. And so we just stay connected. And I've always admired you, the zeal with which you do your job, the level of importance that you bring to it, the information that you share, and the wealth of history is, like I said before, a gift to Memphis. And I thank you for that and for taking time on your day of rest to be here with me live at lunch. I'm going to wrap up. I think everyone is giving you thumbs up and hearts, and they're saying yes. And so, yes, Wakanda forever. We love it. We love it. I'm with you. I'm with you. One of the things I always do is give a cyber hug to all my T-Row crew. I want you to know that you matter, and there's nothing you can do about me thinking that, because I love you. And I want you to make sure that you make every day amazing. And above all else, live with the gift, because it really is. I'll see you back here live at lunch on Wednesday. Everybody. Mwah. Thank you, Carolyn. Have a fantastically marvelous Monday.
Bye bye.
Bye.